Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and today we are going to be talking about Smile Direct Club and what I think about it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You think he's ready?
He's not ready.
Hopefully this will save you some time and money to make sure that you're truly a candidate for Smile Direct Club. This is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and this is The Modern Smile. Smile Direct Club has been very, very popular in recent years. And if you're watching this video, that means that you are considering getting Smile Direct Club to straighten your teeth or close your gap.
You thought this was going to be easy?
No, ma'am.
It's not going to be easy.
So what I'm going to discuss is how Smile Direct Club works and what are the limitations in terms of what I think as a dentist of whether or not Smile Direct Club will work for you. So the way that Smile Direct Club works is that you go online and you submit an application. I'm actually going to walk through the whole thing with you and show you how they tell you if you're a candidate and what the steps are. Once you complete this application, what happens is they will send you a kit in which you can take your impressions at home and then send them back to them. Or what you will do is you'll go to one of their centers where they will do a digital scan or a physical impression to make sure that they get all of the data of your teeth. It is non-dentist supervised. There are going to be limitations as to what you can and cannot do. So I'm just going to show you really quick what it looks like when you go onto the website. They give you a 30-second smile assessment, and I just selected I like to straighten my teeth, and then I have never had braces before. That's what I put. And my main concern, I put fixing crowded teeth, but it doesn't seem to matter because the next step just shows you 3 examples of crowded teeth. I chose the most extreme one just to make a point of the spacing and the crowding. And then the next thing you do is put your zip code in and your email address. And then they're calculating, we're grading your tooth test. And after that, voila, you're a great candidate. I've tried this actually several different times, and every time I was a candidate. Just a brief version of what happens with Invisalign in our office, or ClearCorrect, which is also the same thing as clear aligner therapy, but is dentist supervised. You come in, you see someone like me, we go through the whole, what are your concerns, what do you need, if you are a candidate, and after we determine if you're a candidate, we do the same thing. We'll either take an impression or we'll scan your teeth. We will send that off to the company, and they will create a digital treatment plan in which me as a dentist, I follow. Now the difference is because I'm a dentist and I'm supervising your treatment, I'm also going to be watching to see if you are making progress. And then there are certain things that we will do at certain visits. So for example, there's 2 main things that will happen at a visit. Number 1, you'll have something called IPR, which means when you don't have space. So for example, if you have crowding, we will take some tooth structure away from in between your teeth to create this space. In traditional orthodontics, they used to pull for teeth on kids and stuff like that. But with clear aligner therapy, what they often do is IPR, interproximal reduction. And it's very, very simple, not painful, and I'll also demonstrate that here. Now, the second thing that we'll also do is place engagers. Engagers are composite buttons that we place on the teeth that allow us to put a little bit more pressure to move the teeth. Now, the reason I even make any mention of this is in Smile Direct Club, none of those things exist because you are doing everything at home. So the reason that I'm saying that, and to be very careful, is when you're doing something with Smile Direct Club, obviously, and you're not dentist supervised, that means that they are trying to manage all the spaces and the movements only at home. Now, I'm only talking about this simple thing. You got crowding or you have spacing. Now, I've met some people who have something called a tooth that's too high, or a tooth that's too low, or a tooth that sticks up or crosses over, or a canine that's twisted. And Smile Direct Club also says they're a candidate too. So if everyone is a candidate, and if you've ever filled out one of their questionnaires online, if everyone is a candidate, does that mean that it works for everyone? That to me brings some skepticism, because I know in clear aligner therapy, oftentimes people have an expectation that they cannot receive with clear aligners. Regular orthodontics with brackets and wires have a lot more force to push the teeth into place. But one other key thing that people don't understand is age. Now, a lot of times with orthodontists, there's a lot of kids there because kids are still developing and growing. And most people who are doing Smile Direct Club are adults. Adult orthodontics and children orthodontics is a totally different animal, because we are already grown. And because we are already grown, we are not going to experience the kind of dramatic changes that a child can. The analogy that I love to make the most is that when a baby is born, they have fontanelles on their head. So 2 in the back, and 2 one front and 1 back, and 2 on the side. And in between, there's something called symphysis. That is where the bones have not completely fused. That helps the baby come through the birth canal. And that also allows expansion and growth of their head. They're not fully developed. The same thing is true of in the mouth. In the mouth, between the 2 palates, so the palate is the roof of your mouth, there is a symphysis. That means where the 2 bones connect. And when you're a kid, we can play with that, right? You can expand it through palatal expanders and things like that, and play with the jaw in certain areas, try to push it forward and back. Smile Direct Club, it's for adults. So most of the time, you're not going to necessarily achieve some of the results that you want. So for example, something that I think will not work with Smile Direct Club is, number 1, a really big overbite. So if you have a really big overbite, you cannot expect that that is going to pull it all the way back. Now, a moderate overbite like that, maybe they can do something like this. But if your jaw is forward, you can't expect that Smile Direct Club is going to fix that, because that is a skeletal issue. If you have an underbite, if your jaw is all the way forward, all the way that way, you can't expect that's going to be fixed. That's also a skeletal issue. If you have a crossbite, that means that your top teeth overlap your bottom teeth and they're within. That typically it requires some sort of palatal expander. The other thing that I don't believe that it will fix is also rotation of canines. So for example, some people, they have canines that are rotated. Canines, some people like to call the dog tooth, and that tooth is not easily rotated as an adult because it has the longest roots in your mouth, and that's why they tend to be the teeth that last the longest, even with people with other problems. So if you plan to rotate those teeth, that's not necessarily going to work. If you have canines that are here, all the way up here, and you expect that a clear aligner is going to draw them down and in, I'm really skeptical if Smile Direct Club says, yes, you're a candidate, and yes, everything is going to be magically fixed with that. That doesn't work that way. Another thing that is not going to happen with Smile Direct Club is overcrowding that has no space created. So I had a question that someone said, if I have spaces, can I get Smile Direct Club, or can I get clear aligner therapy? Yes, because you have allowable space. But if you have no space and you're expecting to straighten up your bottom teeth that are all crooked, you cannot expect that without any sort of creation of space. So you have to be a little bit skeptical. Yes, you guys are not dentists, you don't know all of the details, but it's really important to think about what you're doing. Now, one of the things that is very easy to fix with Smile Direct Club is gaps and spaces. Gaps and spaces are easy for anybody to fix. Regular orthodontics with metal brackets, people with Invisalign or Clear Correct or Smile Direct Club, all they're doing is giving you a series of trays that slowly will bring your teeth together. I want to be clear. I am not saying that this does not work. I am saying that you have to think wisely. If someone is saying everyone is a candidate, you also have to know who's not a candidate, because they're not telling anyone that they're not a candidate. So one of the other things that we can't necessarily account for is large gaps and spaces that are everywhere. So you cannot expect, if you're going to close all your gaps and spaces, where's the space that's left going to go? So all of those things are kind of something that a dentist would kind of hopefully direct you into the point to say, you are a candidate, you are not a candidate. One of the other key things that I didn't mention before is when you go into a dental office to see if you're a candidate for clear aligner therapy, what they do is one of 3 things that is on my list of things to do. Number 1, you have had a cleaning and you have healthy gums and teeth. The reason that that is important is because if you have periodontal disease, which is gum disease, which reduces your bone in your gum and causes inflammation, and it is untreated. If you do clear aligner therapy without doing that, you can possibly loosen your teeth even more and cause yourself some very terrible trauma. So you need to make sure that you have healthy gums. Whether or not you're going to a dentist, if you're still going to do Smile Direct Club, make sure that you are good health with your gums. You are up to date with your cleanings, what your periodontal status is, with all it means is that you know your gums are healthy. The second thing you want to make sure is that you don't have cavities, nothing to fill, no crowns to have, nothing like that that needs to be taken care of in terms of decay. Because if along the way something happens, those clear aligners are not going to work anymore. The third thing that you want to make sure is that you've addressed your wisdom teeth. Not all wisdom teeth need to be extracted. However, you need to make sure if your wisdom teeth, especially if you're in the ages between 18 and like 21, that you've at least discussed your wisdom teeth with your dentist, because if they decide to erupt while you're having your Smile Direct Club aligners straighten your teeth, that's going to cause problems. Or the trays are supposed to reach all the way to the last teeth. If they're not allowed to reach all the way to the back, it's going to be difficult for them to make a tray that grips the back to be able to move your teeth around. I have so much more to say about this topic because it can get quite complicated. I hope that this has helped. I will definitely be live on Tuesday. If you have additional questions about your personal situation and clear aligner therapy, whether it's Invisalign or Smile Direct Club or Life Candid or any of the new ones that are in the market that are at-home orthodontic treatment, let me know. I'd be very glad. Make sure you comment below and I will give you all the data of what I want. So my goal really is to help you make smart decisions. I have a feeling that this topic is not quite done because it is such a hot topic right now. Make sure that if you know somebody, you share. And if you like this video and the information that I gave you, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is Dr. Tamisha Denis, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Bye-bye.
I almost forgot how entertaining this could be.